नमस्ते गेमर्स द लेजी गेमर्स नेपालको MLBB कम्युनिटी हो हिरो स्टोरीज मोन्टाज क्लिप्स र टुर्नामेन्ट अपडेट्सको लागि जोइन हुनुहोस्
Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into the lore of Valir, the son of flames. We're looking at how this lone mage walked fearlessly right into a literal trial of fire, and not as a punishment, but to completely forge his own destiny.
Let's kick things off with his central philosophy. Fire is not born to obey, it burns, transforms, and reveals what was hidden. That's not just some cool dramatic line. It's a really profound look into human nature. Valir's whole story challenges us to ask, what actually happens when we flat out refuse to let rigid tradition dictate our potential? Section 1. The Prodigy of Agelta, from raw talent to the Magic Academy. So, Valir wasn't just your average guy who figured out how to cast a basic fire spell. Born down in the southwest of the Land of Dawn, in Agelta, his connection to magic was totally unique. He didn't just create flames, he literally felt their movement and could just force raw heat to answer his will. And naturally, this unbelievable, prodigy-level talent got him recruited into the super prestigious Magic Academy. That's where he started this grueling apprenticeship under the legendary mage Gord. Under Gord's watchful eye, Valir was forced to learn strict discipline, the flow of arcane energy, and of course the incredibly precise control that a true magician absolutely has to have.
But, here's where the tension really starts to brew. Valir was never fully satisfied. He desperately wanted to create something entirely his own. Even with this elite education, he felt totally boxed in. He didn't want to just parrot generations of old techniques. The fire inside him was basically demanding something entirely new.
Which brings us to Section 2, Master and Disciple, the Clash of Philosophies. As you can imagine, a massive philosophical divide quickly formed between Valir and his master. Valir started combining the wild, native fire traditions of his homeland with the incredibly strict arcane knowledge of the academy. To him, this was just natural evolution, right? Gord, on the other hand, saw it as a reckless, incredibly dangerous violation of literally everything the academy protected. It really all boils down to two completely different worldviews. Gord firmly believed that arcane magic requires strict order. Every single spell structured, every movement purposeful, keeping the power pure and perfectly controlled. But Valir? He believed in evolving power, power driven by instinct, fusing that raw flame with arcane structure to let it organically grow. It was this fundamental heavy debate over whether magic should be kept in a cage or just allowed to run wild. And inevitably, this theoretical debate turned intensely physical in a battle of discipline versus instinct. Once Gord discovered what Valir had actually been doing, his patience just evaporated into pure anger. He truly believed his student had defiled the magical arts. Their clash was explosive. It literally shook the halls of the academy, pitting pure arcane energy violently against this wild, volatile flame.
The tragic truth of their conflict is exactly this. Sometimes the student must leave the master before either can understand the truth. So Valir's formal training ended that day. But listen, he didn't walk away defeated, not at all. He left fiercely determined to prove to Gord, and honestly to the rest of the world, that his evolving fire was not a mistake.
Moving into Section 3, the Inferno of Fire, a trial of isolation.
So Valir travels to this active volcano that's feared by almost all mages, the Inferno of Fire. For anyone else, stepping foot there was basically a death sentence. But for Valir, it became a home, a battlefield, and honestly, a perfect mirror for his own inner rage. Just picture this for a second. Blood-orange skies, and these intense rivers of molten fire cutting right through jagged black stone. It was the absolute ultimate testing ground for his philosophy. It is genuinely incredible to uncover how he actually survived this place. First, he had to simply endure extreme, punishing heat that would instantly vaporize an ordinary person. Then, he started actively testing his magical control right smack in the middle of violent volcanic eruptions. And finally, and this is absolutely crucial, he had to master his own rage. With every single wave of fire, he was forced to make a choice: let the anger completely consume him or command it.
And through all that intense, grueling isolation, he reached a profoundly deep realization. True power comes from understanding why the flame burns. He didn't need to suppress his nature the way Gord taught him. He just needed to deeply understand its actual purpose.
Section 4. The Son of Flames, a Forged Destiny.
Those brutal years inside the Inferno completely transformed him. I mean, he went in as this reckless student just trying to prove a point, and he emerged as a true master who intimately understood the heavy, heavy price of uncontrolled power. He managed to forge a brand new power that belongs to no academy and absolutely no master. He no longer needed anyone's permission to be exactly who he was meant to be.
And that brings us to Section 5, the 10-year promise, a reunion of fire and wind.
Even after everything, Valir still has one major, lingering tie to his past, and that is his incredibly complex connection to Vale, the Windtalker. You see, they're bound by a 10-year promise to finally reunite. And just think about the elemental chemistry going on here for a second. Fire and wind. When you mix those two, they can either elevate each other to absolute incredible heights, or they can spiral into total, uncontrollable destruction. Because of this dynamic, Valir is stuck waiting with deeply conflicting emotions. He's totally caught between the hope of seeing his old friend and the deep fear of what their meeting might actually demand of him.
Ultimately, his whole story really drives toward one defining truth. He was born to set the darkness alight. Valir's journey is this constant, ongoing battle to know if he truly controls the fire, or, if it controls him. But one thing's for sure, he is never again going to live in another master's shadow.
Which leaves us with some pretty compelling questions to ponder. Was Valir actually right to challenge Gord's strict traditions? I mean, sometimes progress absolutely requires breaking the rules, but what's the ultimate cost? And looking ahead, is this impending reunion with Vale going to create peace, or is it going to ignite an all-out war? Let me know where you stand on this crazy balance between holding on to tradition and forcing evolution. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking questions and keep exploring the lore.
नमस्ते गेमर्स द लेजी गेमर्स नेपालको MLBB कम्युनिटी हो हिरो स्टोरिज मोन्टाज क्लिप्स र टुर्नामेन्ट अपडेट्सको लागि जोइन हुनुहोस्